What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the program. We have a great show planned for you. So anytime the government gets involved, the government is there to try to, well, we're at least told they're going to solve our problems. But you and I both know that a lot of times the government doesn't solve the problem. It actually makes the problem worse. And in a lot of Americans' lives, their opinions have changed on the subject of government-backed public education. And luckily in America, we still have the freedom to bypass that, to exit the system, to go around the busybodies. And this makes totalitarians very uncomfortable, I'll just say. And so all of a sudden, I've noticed in the last, 48 hours or so, there has been an increased attack from the left against homeschooling. This ability to take our kids out from the government schools, the government indoctrination camps, some people think, and educate them ourselves. And the state of Connecticut has now sent a bill to the governor's desk there that would essentially require, according to some, would require parents to prove their innocence. They're assumed guilty and have to prove their innocence before they can educate their own children. We're going to talk about all of that and much, much more, including AI data centers and also what's now being referred to as the Southern Scramble. The redistricting process has begun, and the race is on to actually govern ourselves and not allow racial gerrymandered districts to be the law of the land anymore. The Paul Harrell program starts right now.
Paul Harrell program.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. As always, broadcasting from the great state of Arkansas, here on LFA TV, as well as the Paul Harrell program YouTube page. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, like, share, subscribe. Also broadcasting over on my personal Facebook as well as X. And so we really appreciate all of your support. And I'm with my good friend in seat number 3, Eric Haynes. Eric, how are you, sir?
Great to see you, sir. Great to be part of the conversation.
Yes, sir. I understand, according to this, that you paid entirely too much for gas today in your travels.
It's just another Tuesday, I guess, unfortunately.
Another Tuesday. That's right. It is. It's another Tuesday. But did you? I guess I know you were gone yesterday. Did you have a good weekend? Everything good with you, the fam?
Everything was fantastic. We were out of town on AAU basketball trips. Went up to Cape Girardeau, Missouri this weekend. Had a really good time. It was good.
All right, good. Fantastic. So, yeah, this Connecticut story is pretty interesting to me, where you have the state of Connecticut now trying to regulate homeschooling. And I think fundamentally this is, I think the left knows that they're losing and they have lost the country, and they're still, obviously there's plans for them. They want to take the House. They want to win the midterms. They want to impeach the president. You know, they do have in the back of their minds that there's going to be some comeback here. And there very well could be, as long as we have, feckless Republican leaders that won't do the thing like end the filibuster, pass the SAVE Act, which will actually allow them to win more elections in places like Nevada, but they won't do it because they really don't care about the voters. I mean, I want Republican leaders who are worried about not their own political fortunes, but are worried about the people having to live under Democrat rule. Like, I think like that is totally lost in this conversation. Are you worried about us having to live, not just you losing political power, but us having to live under the Democrat rule, as angry with us as they are about rejecting their globalism or their woke sex religion and the LGBT and all that stuff? They're very mad about it, and they're onto something. I mean, strategically for them, going after homeschooling makes complete sense, because this is a way, schooling, public school, the government schools are a way to indoctrinate kids 40 hours a week away from their parents. And so I think, the left, they know what a big problem is for them generationally, and it is homeschooling. Homeschooling, private schooling is a big problem for them. And while they may not come out and say that explicitly, that's what I think's going on in their heads. And I'm just telling the left, like, you're right. You are 100% right. Homeschooling is 100% a threat to the way you want the world to be. 100% is. So, but they're doing it. They're going after them. Here's the vote yesterday in the state of Connecticut. The governor, Ned Lamont, now has to decide whether to sign this or veto it. He's expected to sign it, according to reports. But Corey DeAngelis is saying he's a school choice evangelist, he claims, over on X. And he says Connecticut Senate passed a bill to require parents to prove their innocence before they can homeschool. The vote was 22-14 in the Senate. The House passed it 96-53. Connecticut may be the first state to go backwards on homeschool freedom in the last 50 years. So that's what's going on right now. Connecticut may be, or they're going to go backwards. That's exactly what's going to go on. Now, the mainstream media is describing this as, well, Connecticut has, is never regulated homeschool, and it's just something that needs to be regulated. That's the way they're going to say this. They're going to claim that they're doing all of this for the best interest of the kids. Apparently they said there's, reports that, and all the media says is like, well, there was this one, there's this couple of kids, they went and homeschooled and they were found dead. And so because of that, we've got to strip the rights of parents to homeschool their kids. Never mind the fact, by the way, that kids are not, it's not as if kids are safe in public schools. I mean, it's like that was one of the main reasons. There was a lot of main reasons why I decided to homeschool. Me and my wife decided to homeschool. But one of them was the idea of some emergency going on, school shooting at the school, and me not being able to do anything about it was just, I couldn't exist in that world where that's a possibility, on a daily basis. But, so we also have this other story, and Eric, feel free to chime in here do you think I'm right about that? Do you think I'm right that the left is exactly right? Like, if they want their worldview to continue, homeschooling is a threat to it, and they should go after it, from a strategic standpoint.
I think you're absolutely right. I am not speaking from a place of experience with homeschooling because I was raised in a public school system and my kids go to a public school system. But I will say this. When we moved here, before we even had kids, before kids were even a thought, we moved here right when we got married. And our first thought on purchasing a home was to ask our agent, what school district is this in, and are there good schools around here? And we got that information. We already kind of had a church lined out through some friends that we knew, but our first big question was, hey, how's the schools in this area? We want to get ourselves implanted into the community and raise our kids here. What's the school system like? That's how important that decision was before we even had any kids to think about that. So, I mean, it is a major, major decision, and I hear from parents and friends of mine in big cities and, all over a lot of areas where it's just like they're forced into insanely expensive private schools because public schools are not even a safe option at all for them. And I'm talking specifically about friends of mine in the Memphis area. I'm talking about friends of mine in the St. Louis area and friends of mine in this, and even over in Nashville. Like, they have to make that decision because the public school system has failed the kids and the teachers there. So, I know this can be a really, really big thing.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll qualify, obviously, and I was telling you off the air, I know of some Arkansas school districts it's like a time capsule, and they're public schools, and they're still great, if you're in a rural area or you're in, places like we live where there's like a lot of different choices and options. It's not all. I mean, I still have my issues with it, sure. But it's not all public schools are created equal. We know that.
We ended up making the right decision for us. We have friends that are on the school board. We know administrators there. The teachers of our kids love our kids, and got them through the COVID era as best they possibly could, in my opinion, to where our kids didn't get so cut short like so many kids did. And I don't feel like that our children were at such a deficit coming out of that so many kids in other school states and areas are. But we really lucked out in that. But there was a time there that even with as great a school as our kids are a part of, there was a time there where we were about ready to throw in the towel too and say, let's just get off the grid. This country is going into some crazy places with this pandemic. Like, let's just get off the grid and do our own thing. My wife's, a very smart, talented person. I can figure some things out, and we can get through this, educating our kids. It's not like it hasn't been done before.
Exactly.
So
it's not rocket science.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
we were talking also off air because just so you guys know, this is why the left is so worried about it. I just ran some statistics about 2019 to now. I was curious. Okay, so what was the percentage of homeschooling in America in 2019, right before all the COVID craziness? And ChatGPT says, 2.5 million students nationwide. Now from 2024 to 2025, so 6 years later, it's as high as 3.7 million kids. So you've gone up about a million kids.
That's
a million
incredible
more
growth.
kids are now doing homeschool than were before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So anywhere
And
from
more power-
900,000 to
and that's the
1.2
thing.
million.
More power to them and those parents taking an active role in their kids' education. Not more power to the government.
Exactly.
That needs to have those parents under their boot. So please, Connecticut, you're probably in a tough situation there because you're governed by a bunch of Democrat idiots that have obviously voted the wrong way and outside of giving parents control. But man, if you're in other states where this is anywhere close to being a ballot conversation, get active.
Yeah. So
Advocate for your kids.
I agree with that 100%. So this is the mainstream media article on what's going on in Connecticut. Adopts homeschool regulation over staunch objection from the GOP. And then there's a story here that doesn't even mention Connecticut. In townhall.com, posted this morning by Amy Curtis, headlined, "The Left's Attack on Homeschooling Rear Their Ugly Head Again." And she says the left loves to prop up failing public schools. And they do that by attacking private schools, except when they send their kids to private schools. They attack school choice and homeschooling. But repeated studies have shown that private and homeschooling schools not only spend less per student, but also have better outcomes. And so with each generation of homeschoolers that gives you better outcomes, it's just exposing the public school system as having no clothes. Like you're basically exposing the government as inept. You're exposing this it's about 100-year-old experiment, maybe a little more than that, but it's, this is actually the experiment, is this compulsory education that's funded by the taxpayers. And it's based on this idea that if the public doesn't get involved and educate kids, then a lack of education will happen and it'll be abuse. A lack of education will be abuse. This is not the 1800s anymore, though. We are so far from that.
Sorry,
at this
it's
point.
the opposite.
Yes.
They'll be smarter, actually.
At this point,
they'll have less distractions. They'll have a lot more real world experience. They'll get to do a lot more things.
Yep.
And they're not just forced into being robots for 7 or 8 hours a day.
That's exactly right. And yet, if they could, they would replace teachers right now with robots so that they can monitor and control everything that comes out of their mouths. Which I pegged that, a long time ago. When the curriculum started, the teacher, you have teachers that, they're doing an 8 to 3 job supposedly, and yet teachers are up there till 5 and 6 o'clock at night because the paperwork from the bureaucracy in the state got so onerous on these. It's like, come on, you're teaching first grade. Like, what are we doing here? It's extreme. The good, if there are good teachers left, and I know there are. They don't stick around very long because, it's been made so complicated, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Here's this lady named Jill Filipovic, and she's wanting more regulation on homeschoolers, and she tweeted this. She says, if homeschooling is actually super high quality, then homeschooling families should not object to being evaluated, tested, and checked in on to make sure their kids are actually learning. It's like, well, actually, no, that the whole point of homeschooling Well, it's the first one is I want to give my kid a better education, but the second point is I want to be free of your system. Okay, I'm not a part of your system. Yeah. I don't want to be a part of your system. I don't trust your system. I don't want to check in with you. I'm done. Like, that's the whole point of homeschooling, is getting out. It's also being able to take a vacation whenever you want, too, by the way, this compulsory school system. Now, here in Arkansas, in my home state of Arkansas, Eric, you know this, we now have Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, one of her signature achievements, which the left can't stand and they're trying to undo, but it's called the LEARNS Act, where it actually gives, which, by the way, this was a concept that was a pipe dream 15 years ago.
Yeah.
The idea that your own tax dollars would follow the child. Mm-hmm. And so if you're a homeschooler, if you homeschool your child in Arkansas, if you apply, okay, you don't get it, you have to apply, you have to submit yourself to a system, you get $8,000, $6,000 to $8,000 a year, and you can spend it on education. And, you know, they're really mad right now because people are spending it on private sports lessons, and you can't do that, or only a percentage, but you can spend it on computers and you can spend it on educational equipment, right? And this has gotten everybody super upset. Or you can spend it on private school. If you want it to spend on private school, you can do that. Now, in doing that, there are strings attached. Mm-hmm. And at first there were really no strings, and now they're trying to add strings. They're trying to add testing, but, you know, the parents get to pick what test, and the parents get to administer the test. And it's, you know, but there were a lot of private schools in Arkansas, or I don't know about a lot, but when it first passed, the private schools wouldn't accept it because the private schools didn't want to accept, you know, a student being funded by tax dollars because they were afraid. They were kind of wait and see, because we don't trust that the government's not going to try to, because we took the money, now we're going to be, you know, subjected to all this other regulation. And I'm sure over time, you know, the nature of government is they're going to want to pick at it. They're going to want to take a good thing and they're going to want to destroy it. And this is now the battle. But if you don't want to take it, guess what? Still one of the most unregulated things in the state of Arkansas. You can homeschool your kids. It's fine. And there's a lot of people that have refused to take it on that basis because they just don't. The whole point is to be outside of the system. It's like the equivalent of, like, you know, having a home birth and not giving your child a social security number, in a way. That might be an extreme version. I know. Hey, listen, I know people that have done home births, and it's like, you know, they don't have a social security number. There's no record that they exist.
Because the hospital didn't fill out the paperwork?
Well, no, if they did a home birth.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They've done a home birth. It is what it is. I don't even know what you do at that point. It's like getting outside the matrix completely. But anyway, she writes, tell us you know nothing about homeschooling without telling us you know nothing about homeschooling. Also, this is a fun little game the left plays. Oh, you're trying to get out of our failing system? Well, then you need to be subjected to our failing system standards. And if you object, you're hiding something. And so we have some other leftists here. Tested by who and to what purpose? You are not entitled to the assumption that the testers are competent or benevolent, and you are not entitled to any access to someone else's children. Zip, zero, nilch, nada. And matter of fact, I've got some really good comments, but let's go back to Connecticut real quick, because here is Democrat Connecticut State Senator Rob Sampson being called out during this lively debate where they voted to essentially punish homeschool parents. Being called out for saying that these kids belong to him.
We just want to know where our kids are and who's educating them. Through you, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Madam President. I just want to suggest one more time that the gentleman keeps referring to this as our children. The government, they're not the government's children. These are the children of the parents, many of whom are with us today. And frankly, I find it objectionable, with no disrespect to my colleague, that they keep being referred to as our children.
We just want to know where our...
Yeah.
I mean,
great accountability there, because the first guy's taking this like noble approach of all we're trying to do is figure out where our kids are getting their education.
We're not doing anything wrong.
And who gives it to them.
We're not doing anything wrong.
Aren't we great for for our oversight. Isn't our oversight so great?
We just care.
We just care.
Yeah, we just care. That's all it is.
Knock it off. It's too good. Yeah.
We just want to know where our kids are.
Thank you for electing us to watch over your kids. Aren't we
my
fantastic? We're just watching out for the boogeyman here. You know, we're just keeping them from the boogeyman.
That's right.
Educating them.
You know,
It's like government.
their parents. Their parents could be up to no good. We don't know. Anyway, the Republican senator there is a man by the name of Senator Rob Sampson. Now, who did I misstate this? Yeah, sorry. So this was not the Democrat. Forgive me. So the who you heard there was Republican Senator Rob Sampson. So I
Right.
want to correct the record. So Connecticut Senator Rob Sampson then went on, and in this 19-second clip, he said this.
The family is not a department of the government. Parents are not subjects, they are citizens. And they do not need the permission of this state government or anyone in this room to educate their own children. Thank you, Madam President.
And yet, the state of Connecticut says, "Oh, I beg to differ." You do.
In fact, you're the furthest part away from what we want educating our children.
And we are, and we can prove that actually. Let me go to this piece right here.
Everything the government touches, it ruins. So, no, thank you.
The DOJ is investigating over 30 Illinois school districts for guiding kids to become trans.
Prosecutors say they helped children change genders without telling their parents. The review is.
I mean, is it a shock that there's now 1 million more kids that are homeschooled in 2019 versus now after what we went through? It's not just COVID. I mean, it's the woke sex religion, it's all of it. And it's like now you've got Connecticut that's worried, oh, these parents, and they're homeschooling their kids. Yeah, homeschooling them to avoid this.
Prosecutors say they helped children change genders without telling their parents. The review is also looking at whether the districts violated parents' right to opt their child out of lessons on gender and sexuality.
So if this is the state of American education, and it's not just the woke sex religion, it's also the curriculum, it's also, kids coming home thinking Cesar Chavez is more important, historical figure than George Washington. That's also happening. And there's another path. It's not even a parallel path. It's an off-ramp. Hey,
Yeah.
we can just avoid this nonsense altogether. And yeah, they're still taking our tax money, but taking your tax money and then turning around paying teachers to indoctrinate your kids, but we can opt out of that. And the left is correct in identifying this as a big threat to them. It is. It's a huge, huge threat. Keep in mind that these public schools, I also just want to say this. You know why they're Catholic schools?
Do I know why there are Catholic
It's a loaded
schools?
question.
Yes.
Okay. Why do you think there are Catholic schools? There's not a wrong answer here.
Oh, I was going to say, because the parents are Catholic and want their kids to grow up
Yes.
with that fundamental foundation of education.
Yes. Now, I'm not a Catholic. You're not a Catholic. I'm a Protestant. You're a Protestant. And the reason that there are Catholic schools in this country is because the public schools were essentially Protestant schools, taxpayer-funded Protestant schools. And until the 40s, or the 40s and the 50s, or what was that? It was a 48 decision of the Supreme Court saying you can't pray in school. Okay, we slowly lost our Protestant schools. But that's one of the reasons why the Catholics had their own schools, because they were like, these, this is too Protestant, and we're not going to do that. We're going to do our own thing. Right. In hindsight, it would have been great if there would have been some sort of ecumenical Protestant, meeting of the minds in 4850 when they took prayer out of schools and said, hey, we're going to do our own thing. We're going to pool our resources and do our own thing. It would have ended public school in a big way if that had happened. But because it's the frog in the boiling pot of water scenario, people that, that may be they may have gotten rid of prayer, in New York or New England, but in Arkansas or Tennessee or Mississippi, there was probably still prayer, and a reverence and that sort of thing for a long time.
Right.
And so there wasn't this immediate effect. It was a gradual boiling. But so I'll just say that, like, this is there used to be a time where you could send your kids to public school and they would get a Christian education. They'd get a classical Christian education, and that's no longer the case anymore. And now they're educating them in the ways of sodomy in a lot of cases. I mean, it is what it is, and it's absolutely disgusting. And this is why people are enraged by this. A few more takes. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, like, part of me in this sees this and is like, I guess I'm not really surprised by, Connecticut and Illinois. It's one of those things where, and I know we have a diverse audience that's listening in from all over the country, but part of me thinks, like, well, try that in a small town. Mm-hmm. Like the song. It's just like, thank goodness that wouldn't happen here. But then I have to reflect back to, like, well, there are envelopes being pushed even in the South where, coaches go out in the middle of the field and pray with their football team and that coach gets fired. Mm-hmm. That happened in Texas. Mm-hmm. So
you got litter boxes. I mean, you got even in the South, you got kids trying to be cats and they're demanding litter boxes and stuff. And it's like I just don't understand.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we have to take that as legitimate.
Yeah, we heard about the furry patrol here in this area about one of those litter box situations. We're just like, no way. Not in this small town.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if this is an AI video or not, but I saw a funny video of this girl outside a gas station pretending to be like a dog. She identified as a dog.
I saw that, and then the dog attacked her.
A dog straight up just attacked her. I think it looked real, but
bless her heart.
Bless her heart. Yeah,
she was bad, man. She's barking at the door
yeah.
to open.
Dog comes up to her, just start, and she was a portly lady. She was a portly lady.
I was sitting here thinking in my mind about a tactful way to say,
yeah,
boy,
yeah.
I mean,
she was a portly lady.
Yeah.
Here's this statistic though. Apparently, black homeschool students score 23 to 42% above black public school students across all standardized tests. In fact, the gap between black public school students and black homeschool students is the greatest achievement gap in American education.
Yeah.
But they're never going to talk about that. Corey A. DeAngelis again says, homeschooling isn't an experiment. People were learning at home for thousands of years. Factory schooling. Factory schooling is the experiment, and that experiment has failed.
Yeah.
And then I like this, Chrisman. I thought this was really good. When the left comes to criticize homeschooling, they come at it with this idea that currently public schools are functioning perfectly. He says these anti-homeschool arguments always compare homeschooling to a perfectly functioning public school system that only exists in their imaginations, while 54% of American adults read below a 6th grade level. It's insane. But again, they are right to identify homeschool as a threat to their hegemony. They really are. R.N. McIntyre, a couple of tweets from R.N. McIntyre. I always laugh when these people act like public school teachers are some sacred class of expert that parents could never match when they're actually just prison guards for children.
Sheesh.
I know that's harsh, but there is. I mean, if you do think about public school as very much an institution, how institutional the buildings feel, the fluorescent lights, and and then go look at a prison. And it's like, okay, I mean, it does kind of feel like you're being prepared to be a sardine, at least.
Yeah.
Then he says, I taught public school. There were some real dedicated teachers, but most were dullards. That's a good word, dullards.
I like that. I miss that word. I don't hear that enough.
Most were dullards who knew little about the subject they taught and hated the children in their care. Many of them had failed the basic subject area knowledge exams multiple times but retained their positions. That's also the case.
Yeah.
It is. And then, of course, what they're doing. But then it's, again, not all schools are created equal. Not all public schools are
No,
created
they
equal.
are not.
In Tennessee, they just became the first state in America to require gun safety courses in all public schools, K through 12.
See?
I think this is fantastic. I mean, if you're going to have...
Talk about a yin and yang storyline here.
They learned the 4 basic rules. Treat every gun as loaded. Never point at anything you don't want to shoot. Finger off the trigger and know your target and what's beyond it. Responsible, common sense. No more see gun, play with gun. This is how you raise safe generations in a state that actually respects the Second Amendment. Other states should follow. Man, Tennessee, you guys are making me jealous over there. This is really, really great. If anything...
Do you think they're doing this in Memphis public schools?
Oh, no, you're going to have to...
Hey, kids, anybody want to demonstrate? Like 40 guns come out of holsters.
Oh, no, you'd end up having like, all right, we're going to have to break. It's like, okay, come up here and try. Come up here and try.
No, not sideways.
Oh, okay, we've got to break that. It's my muscle memory.
Yeah.
You're going to have to break those habits.
From somebody, too, that grew up going to a school in small town, southeast Missouri, where, like, we had gun racks in the back of our pickup trucks, and a lot of us would hunt in the mornings and then go to school, and our shotguns would be on the gun racks in the windows. So I have to admit that, like, my lens of perspective is pretty far to one side as far as how I was raised and to where things are now. I mean, my God.
Yeah, that actually proves my point because how old are you again?
Very, very
What?
early 40s.
Okay. So you're mid 40s.
I said very, very early 40s.
Well, I know you're older than me.
I am. I'm the last year of Gen X, man.
Okay.
I'm the last year of Gen X.
So yeah, that's like what I'm saying is it kind of proves my point about how it doesn't all change at once because growing up here, the whole gun rack thing, and I would say this was true for my brother-in-law who's closer to your age. The whole gun rack and gun in the that would have been no bueno back then.
Oh, really?
But you are not very far, but at a different public school where basically around the same time, that was still okay.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
we all took our hunter's safety education course when we were going into the 6th or 7th grade. And then, most of us were hunting in some form or format. And then, so guys would have guns and bows and stuff like that in their vehicles all the time when we went to park on campus. It's very, very different now.
Yeah, it just goes to show you how different things are and how slow they change. All right, so let's reset here. Oh, real quick, last story before we go to break. We're going to take a break, but I do want to celebrate this. So Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon is now dropping a cease and desist letter on the city of Denver, ordering them to get rid of their AR-15 ban, or the DOJ will be suing to enforce the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens. So Denver thinks they're above the law. Denver, wants their liberalism, their, gun control to be the law of the land. Federal government is saying, no, the city of Denver, if you want to have an AR-15, you can, and we're going to make sure that you can. So that's certainly a positive development. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back here in just a moment. This is the Paul Harrell Program here on LFA TV. Back in a second.
For centuries, light has been used to heal. Awaken the body with Red 5.
My name is John, and this is my beautiful wife, Lori, and this is our Star Wars Ewok. His name is Scout, and we have Scout for about 11 years now, and we started noticing about 3 years ago he started slowing down. He was unable to jump on the bed. He was kind of a little bit grumpier, and when my daughters, Macy and Mariah, would take him on walks, he would walk for about 30 yards, and then he'd lay down, and they'd carry him the rest of the way. So I heard about Pet Club 24/7 and about the products from a gentleman that I really trust and share a friendship with. And he mentioned to me that they have products that are going to help him with his arthritis, help him build his immune system. And I said, okay, no problem. Let's try them out. And I kid you guys not, within about 2 to 3 days, we started noticing a little difference. And then we took Scout on a walk probably about a week after we started using the products, the mush puppies, and he would walk the entire way. He would walk at least a mile, and it's just been completely amazing. He's a new dog. He's 11 years old, which is around 80 years in dog years, and he's just happy. He's more energetic. He's not the grumpy old man he used to be, and we're just so thankful. And it was perfect timing because we lost our boxer Yankee about a year and a half ago, and it was really hard on us. So I'm so thankful for Pet Club 24/7 for the products that they offer. Imagine if you could have your best friend around one more day or one more week or even one more year. I'm so blessed and thankful that we were able to find this company and find these products for Scout. So thank you guys. Give it a shot. We appreciate you. God bless everyone.
For centuries, light has been used to heal. Awaken the body with Red 5.
The Paul Harrell Program.
All right, folks, welcome back to the show. Thanks so much for being with us. Here with Eric Haynes is still with us. Eric, brother, did you survive the break? Everything going good?
I did. Great conversation so far, man.
All right, we got to get into this redistricting situation. What's being dubbed the
Gerrymandering of the gerrymandering.
Yes. The gerrymandering of the gerrymandering.
The remandering. The re-jerry.
Jerry. The Jerry.
Hello, Newman.
The Jerry curl.
Come.
The Jerry curl. I couldn't help it. I had to go there.
Hello,
Hey,
Newman.
Sinbad had this the comedian Sinbad had this. I used to think it was so funny. I was growing up watching Comedy Central, and he had this bit where he claimed that in the state of Georgia, you had to have black people had to have a Jerry curl.
I know exactly which stand-up you're talking
and
about.
he'd be like, "Man, the police will pull you over.
Where your Jerry curl at?
Where your Jerry curl at?" But this
that was one of the greatest stand-up performances of all time.
I don't know
back in
about
those
all
days.
time.
He
but
was
it was
at
funny.
He was at Morehouse College, and man, it was so good. My family had the VHS of that thing,
Yeah.
and we watched it all the time. It was so good.
Are you familiar with
It was when Dominique Wilkins was in the audience, and
Yeah.
man, he had so many good bits.
Are you familiar with the Mandela effect that wraps him up in the Mandela effect?
No.
So there are people that swear that he was in a movie where he was a genie, and he's like, I was never in that movie, and people swear up and down. People claim they've got VHS tapes of this Sinbad movie called Shazam or something. It's a big internet conspiracy with the Mandela effect, because the weird thing is that Shaq was also
Shaq.
okay. Yeah, so Shaq was apparently in a movie called Kazam. But I remember both. I'm one of these guys. I remember Shaq because I remember thinking they did this movie before with Sinbad. And so, anyway.
Wait. Oh, no. Now you got me thinking.
I'm telling you.
Keep me on track, man. Don't
It's
let me-
weird.
don't let me
It's
go off
it's
into the
weird.
weeds.
But anyway, it's just so funny because, I mean, Sinbad has had to come out. This was years ago. Be like, I was not a genie. I was not in that movie. It's really funny. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. All right, so it's being dubbed now. The Liberty Daily, or I guess this is the Daily Signal via the Liberty Daily, is dubbing the redistricting war that has begun the Southern Scramble. And I'm totally here for it. I think it's amazing.
Dun.
So, Republican Governor Jeff Landry of Louisiana has already signed an executive order calling off the state's May 16th House primaries to allow for redrawing the state's map. Louisiana has 2 Democrat-held districts by Representative Troy Carter and Cleo Fields. Tennessee Republican Governor Bill Lee has also called a special session to redistrict after the ruling. Representative Steve Cohen, Democrat Tennessee, is the only Democrat U.S. House member from the volunteer state Not for long. You won't be. And then we've got in South Carolina.
You remember who Steve Cohen is, right?
Which one is he?
Oh, man. He... I was about to describe his... Rush used to say this all the time. I was about to describe his IQ relative to that of a pencil eraser, but I digress.
So what's he famous for?
Well, one of the things he did was he brought that bucket of fried chicken into the house,
Eric,
and set it up.
Eric, no, he did not. He did.
Look it up, bro.
Okay, hang on a second. Steve. So this guy,
this
Steve
guy
Cohen,
is mad. He's 5 gallons of crazy in a 2-gallon bucket.
And that's who they're going to.
This guy's nuts.
It comes right up, fried chicken. Oh my goodness, that's the guy from Memphis.
Yes, that's him. That's Steve Cohen.
Democrat call. Saying, what does it say? Democrat. Okay, Representative Steve Cohen's KFC stunt wasn't finger licking good.
There it is.
Hang on a second. There it is. So this man brings. This is the guy that they may be getting rid of. Okay, all right, hang on.
He's one of those obnoxious, crazy Democrats that. Yeah, you gonna play it?
I was going to try to play it, but it's not playing because it's
it.
such an old. Well, it's from 2019. Is that when it happened back in the day?
Sounds about right.
Hang on a second. Let me see if I can't find it a better one because there was plenty.
Look at him. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't mean that.
Let's
to make
see.
me sound
Steve
bad.
Cohen mocks chicken bar at House hearing, eats KFC. Let's see. Yeah, Democrat Tennessee. There he is, right there. Okay. All right. Well, okay. I was thinking that Steve Cohen was black.
Oh no.
That's why.
That's
I just assumed.
That's the additional ironic fact about this is that he's so stupid and he's a white guy. Like, he's this big of an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He mocked Attorney General William Barr, calling him Chicken Barr with a chicken figurine and a bucket of chicken. Barr refused to appear before the House Judiciary Committee hearing about a special counsel, Robert Mueller.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is a guy that was, all sold on framing Donald Trump for treason. Okay. All right. Well, so anyway, back to the Southern Scramble, which is here. The Democrats' response. Okay. In South Carolina, Jim Clyburn holds the only Democrat seat. Governor Henry McMaster has proposed a new redistricting session. Meanwhile, in Alabama, which has 2 Democrat representatives, Shomari Figures and Terry Sewell, Governor Kay Ivey has called a special session for redistricting despite an injunction preventing the state from mid-decade districting. Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall is challenging the injunction. In Georgia, Republican Governor Brian Kemp has ruled out redistricting before the 2026 midterms, but not for 2028. Mississippi's House primaries have already happened, but the state will soon have a session that could include the redistricting of the federal House districts. So Mississippi's still in play. I didn't realize that. I thought Mississippi, because the primaries had already been held, were kind of done, but that would be huge if Mississippi would do that.
Yeah.
Then the Democrats' response. Democrats appear ready to respond to potential pro-Republican redistricting after Louisiana v. Callis. State-level Democrat politicians, as well as the party's voting base, have displayed discipline in backing retaliatory redistricting. The passing of Virginia's redistricting referendum is a prime example. What's funny about all this is, okay, a couple of things now. The redistricting with Virginia kind of felt like it was coming out of left field. It clearly wasn't. They knew what was coming. I mean, they knew this Supreme Court decision. I guarantee you it had been leaked. You got to know these minority justices reached out and said, hey, y'all better do this because it's coming and it's going to totally lose us seats in the South. I'm calling it right now. The Supreme Court leaked the decision to the CIA-backed Spanberger. I'm calling it right now. I think that's what happened.
Interesting.
But what's also interesting is
Interesting take.
that we have a situation to where, because the way Virginia did their ballot referendum, they're not even looking at whether the election was fraudulent or not, just looking at the amount of time that you're supposed to give the citizens. It may be unconstitutional. We may have a situation where the Supreme Court of Virginia nullifies. Right now it's just being prevented. It's been prevented from being certified. You may have a situation where Virginia doesn't get any of the changes and the South picks up even more because of that, or retains what they had. pretty crazy.
Well, it is in my opinion, the textbook definition of FAFO.
Yes.
Because that pendulum swung with that, and it invigorated and woke up a lot of people to see what was going on. And then, guess what happened? Now we're really going to fix things.
So, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said in a recent interview with Politico that Democrats will be prepared to respond in states like New York, Illinois, and Maryland, as well as in Colorado in advance of the 2028 election in order to maximize their seats. But what can they really do? Even if they do respond, and I said this earlier, it's still gonna give the number advantage to Republicans, even if they do respond, because they've already gerrymandered their districts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the only thing they can do, their maps are going to look ridiculous. Their maps are just going to look, well, where's a major city? And then we're going to like have these French like tennis court districts, that go into rural areas. But it's all going to point towards.
It was already so gerrymandered that further gerrymandering for them became illegal. Mm-hmm. And now they're fighting the fact that Republicans have legally fixed the gerrymandering, and their only response is to try to go even more extreme. Mm-hmm. And it's not. I just don't think it's going to work.
They're like, another one.
Yeah, right. But it's, again, why we cannot allow Democrats to take control in the midterms, and why we have to vote against Democrats,
which is what we're doing.
Even if that means voting for Republicans that we're very frustrated with, and that we think have not done a great job.
Yeah. So here's some Democrat response to the Southern Scramble, and that we're going to focus on Memphis for a second. So there's this Tennessee state rep named Justin Pearson. Now, this is a guy, I'm pretty sure he stormed the Capitol. This was back when they were trying to, pass gun. I think they were trying to pass gun restrictions. He was kicked out of the Tennessee House of Representatives. I understand that he actually was, that the Democrats found a way to bring him back. But here he is. So he's from Memphis, and he's a state representative, and he's freaking out about the idea of taking away Steve Cohen's seat and giving it to Republicans.
Tell me about Defend District 9. What are you doing right now?
Yes, we want people to go to defenddistrict9.com. We're preserving and fighting to preserve our congressional representation and stop the racist gerrymandering that's being proposed.
Yeah. You're calling it racist. Help me understand why this is viewed as racist in your eyes.
This is the only black majority district in the state of Tennessee. After the gutting of the Voting Rights Act, this is where the state of Tennessee decided to attack first black representation. And we know that's happening in Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, and it's going to be happening all across our country. We have to defend our right to representation and our voices in Congress, in the state house, and in elected office.
Why do you think Republicans are moving forward with this effort? And give me a response to President Donald Trump's involvement in this. We, of course, know that he kind of directed the governor to do this.
Exactly. Donald Trump is a white supremacist domestic terrorist who is seeking to destroy our democracy by any means necessary, including by usurping democracy itself and the voices of the people. And Governor Bill Lee, Cameron Sexton, and Lieutenant Governor McNally have all decided to join him in this effort to destroy our democracy, to take away our voice, and to attack black people and black representation. And that's wrong.
So, if you needed any motivation to come to the conclusion that Memphis doesn't need to be sending representatives anywhere, especially to Washington, D.C., I don't know. I mean, hopefully this video gave you the nudge. Like they need to worry about Memphis. And Memphis is not a very well run city. I don't know if you've checked in on that. It's so badly run that last week Rob Spencer, our co-host, who's on vacation this week, was arguing for some sort of League of Shadows. Chickens have come home to roost. Ra's al Ghul solution, like Memphis.
Rob al Ghul is coming to Memphis.
Yes, Rob al Ghul
to cleanse the inner city.
That's his new nickname.
Rob al Ghul.
He goes on vacation, and now he is Rob al Ghul, a kung fu ninjutsu master.
This guy.
So, a couple of things. So, yeah, I mean, He's calling him Donald Trump a white supremacist, racist. This is, listen to what Clovet says. It's poetic justice that
This is what lazy, low IQ people do.
his own district is being erased. It is poetic justice that this is just a state representative, but it's Steve Cohen. And Rob made the point last week when he was talking about this. He was just like, if you're, and by the way, this is not oppression. This is not white supremacy. This is simply, hey, we can redraw the districts to where we don't have a racially drawn district, because a racially drawn district doesn't make any sense. We don't have to do it. It's unconstitutional now. It's actually wrong to only draw districts by race. And so if Memphis wants a representative, that's more in line with those values, they got to win elections now. They actually have to compete and win elections. And quite frankly, it may end up being that the district that gets drawn that includes Memphis has more of a moderate Republican in charge. That may actually happen. It's going to be a lot better than, finger-licking good Steve Cohen.
Yeah.
I can promise you that. But there's a disconnect here. Let me draw these two storylines together. Feel free to interrupt. You want to?
Well, I didn't want to.
Not interrupt, but feel free to jump in.
I just think it's unfortunate that people of this low IQ and this low caliber even get a microphone put in front of their face.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think this is the kind of journalism that, it's going to get a lot of clicks, some of the things that he was saying, but man, it's hard to give credibility to letting this guy speak in front of a microphone. It's really, really bad. Everybody over there they have to be cringing when they see this, right? Or am I?
I don't know. They probably want to send this guy to Washington D.C. You know what? I did notice though. This was kind of a secondary take. Are they cloning Don Lemons? Because this reporter,
I thought that's who that guy was that was talking to him, but then I was like, well, Don Lemon wouldn't say that. He wouldn't ask a question like that. He wouldn't be objective.
Yeah, he did kind of seem objective, but he seems like this guy.
Why this is viewed as racist in your eyes?
It sounds just like Don Lemon.
He sounded like Lamont.
They're cloning Don Lemon replacements. After Don Lemon goes to jail, this this guy's going to take his place. He's going to be on CNN next. But anyway, I'm going to tie these two stories together. So that is predominantly African-American in Memphis compared to Chicago. So there's an alderman, city councilman in Chicago by the name of William Hall, and he is mad, very mad, calling on charges to be brought against Walgreens because Walgreens decided to close their shop and their pharmacy because people keep stealing from Walgreens. And people are tired of, the store's tried. I don't know if you've seen the images. They do their best to lock everything up. Things that, in the state of Arkansas or Tennessee or Alabama, you go into a Walgreens and it's a higher trust society, so you don't have all this stuff behind glass. In Chicago and these other big cities, they're putting all these stuff that used to be readily available behind glass that you got to have an employee come and unlock it because the theft is out of control. So Walgreens says, we've had enough. We've had enough. And this is the alderman in Chicago, William Hall's response to that.
Walgreens should be charged with first-degree corporate abandonment.
Yes.
It should be a crime the way they're treating our elders.
Yes.
It should be a crime the way they're treating our families.
All right, I want you to hear that again. It's a short clip.
Walgreens should be charged with first-degree corporate abandonment.
Walgreens, we can just make up charges now, by the way.
Yeah, what is corporate abandonment?
I don't know.
Oh, you mean you're stealing all the stuff off of their shelves for so long, and that they can't actually prevent you from going in and looting the place? That now they're saying, well, all right, we'll just go set up shop in Collierville.
Well, that is first-degree corporate abandonment, Eric. I'm surprised you didn't know that.
Let me look at the charge.
There's no way that's a real charge. There's literally zero first degree. I'm charging you with corporate abandonment. Oh, please don't. Please let it be in the third degree. No, first degree corporate abandonment. There's no way. I will be I will be so shocked if that's a real charge. Is it a real charge? Corporate abandonment? There's no way statutorily that corporate abandonment is on the books. And is defined as a store closing and leaving a city because the population it serves keeps stealing from them and robbing them blind.
I mean,
you can't find anything. Just say it. You can't find anything. Can you find anything?
No, it's all about this one
story.
This one story from Chicago.
I got you. All right, so here's the deal on this. Why is Walgreens left? Has Walgreens left Chicago because they're racist? No. Walgreens has left Chicago because the people have been stealing from them.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes.
And instead of having a little responsibility, having a little accountability, looking around and saying, man, there's something wrong with us.
Unapologetically stealing and videoing it.
Oh, yeah.
And
flash mobs.
Throwing it in the face of the people that work there saying, I'm going to steal this and you're not going to do anything about it. Literally flaunting it in the face. Walking in, filling up a cart or filling up big bags and then turning around and walking out.
It's insane. And instead of saying, "Hey, okay, we've got a problem here," they're just going to blame the corporation. So Aaron McIntyre has a very strongly, I feel like conceptually, it's an interesting tweet, but I think it's exactly what Tennessee is deciding to do. Actually, even though this is a story out of Chicago, he says it's really important that you understand there will be no rational revelations here, meaning from the citizens of Chicago who've lost their Walgreens. They're not going to recognize cause and effect, and that's true. They're not recognizing cause and effect here. They're refusing to. They're not going to take responsibility. They're not going to reflect. And so Aaron McIntyre says in response to that video that we just saw about Walgreens should be charged, he says,
Walgreens should be charged with first-degree corporate abandonment.
So in response to that,
there is no first-degree corporate.
So he says...
The phrase is a political flourish.
Yes. So he says, Aaron McIntyre says, you can't reason with this. You have to rule it. You can only rule it. Now, people are oh, my gosh. I'm sure somebody somewhere is like, well, you can't say that. You can't say you need to rule it. Actually, that's practically speaking exactly what Tennessee is about to do to the city of Memphis. Tennessee no longer has a court-enforced, racially gerrymandered district, and they're saying, okay, we don't agree with what Memphis has done. We don't agree with their leadership. They still have the right to vote. They still are electing Democrat mayors. They're still electing Democrat leaders. They're still putting gang members on the Memphis police force, which we talked about, where they have gang members as cops. You talk about Gotham City and corruption. I mean, come on. I mean, that's like, I don't know what the hood version of Batman would be, but that would be hilarious. I'm going to put some thought into that. It's like, wonder what that story is. I wonder what that story is.
Memphis is Gotham City.
Memphis is Gotham. I'm gonna write some sort of graphic novel, and I'm gonna do it.
Well,
I'm gonna do it.
I'll tell you this, Steve.
I'm gonna figure out the
Steve Cohen is Jack Nicklaus as the Joker. That's who Steve Cohen is.
I'm gonna figure it out. I mean, but even you go back and look at Memphis, what was Memphis like even when we were growing up? You go back and look at how it was portrayed in that Tom Cruise movie, The Firm. Totally different than the way it is now.
Totally different.
Totally different.
My mom used to go over when I was a kid. She would go over with some of her friends. They would go over for 2 days. They'd stay in hotels at 2 or 3 days, and they would shop. She'd get all her Christmas shopping done over there. They'd stay she'd buy the Wolf Chase Galleria Mall. That whole area there, there was all kinds of places where they would shop. Oak Court Mall and a couple other places. I would not let her set foot in that place now. I mean, it's a mess. I mean, absolute mess now. And that wasn't that long ago. I'm in my very, very early 40s. So I mean, she was doing that when I was a teenager. And so, I mean, that's not been that, but it's just the whole area is just bad.
I wonder if we should just keep doing.
Sorry, Memphis.
I wonder if we should keep doing shows about how
we don't
terrible
need to
Memphis
keep
is.
Bashing Memphis,
And
because
then-
there's some great parts.
Yeah, but we continue to do this, and then we go to the city of Memphis and say, hey, like, we could try to sell them some ads, like some tour, like, Memphis is actually great. And I'll run the ads. I'll do my best. But then at the same time, I'll have to come on and be like, guys, make sure there's some sort of concealed carry reciprocity wherever you're coming from.
MMGA, make Memphis great again.
I'm telling you, man, it's terrible. But to the point being is, what Tennessee is doing is essentially saying, okay, Memphis, we're not going to let you take an entire congressional vote. We're not going to give you one of our seats if we can help it. We're going to undo your gerrymander, and I don't even care if you say that we're gerrymandering, but we're going to no longer do a racial gerrymander. We're going to do what we want to do.
Yeah.
And we're going to create a Republican district that's going to include Memphis. And if Memphis wants to do something about it, then they need to change. They need to win elections. They need to find a way to convince the rest of Tennessee, near the rest of the parts of that district, to vote for a Democrat. Or maybe you just quit governing your city like it's Gotham City, and you realize that, I mean, they've really made their own bed here. They have made their own bed. They're a dysfunctional city, as evidenced by the fact the National Guard had to go in there and liberate people and find kids and allow for children to be able to play outside safely. And I don't even know I don't know, is that still going on? Or is everything reverted back to the way it was? But for a while there, people were like, oh, wow, law and order has come to Memphis, and it had improved. But
I think some of the National Guard troops are still there, but they don't have a ton of ICE and Border Patrol guys there. They've moved on to other areas.
Well, I mean, it's just really sad because, people, you don't have to live like this, but they've continued to vote. Just like all of these major cities, they've been run by Democrats for the last 50, 70 years, and the cities are worse and worse and worse because of it. And it's all, by the way, and the reason why Republicans don't ever get elected is because Republicans are thought to be racist. Why are Republicans thought to be racist? Well, because groups like the Southern Poverty Law Center are literally framing white people as racists, framing us as racists by paying bad actors to be racist, and then they fundraise off of their mean tweets.
Paying the bad actors with the tiki torches?
Yes. Yes,
the
exactly.
Tiki torches that Kamala remembers.
I remember the tiki torches. And you said there was good people on both sides.
You said that. Oh man, I can't do a Kamala impression.
I that was horrible, but I wasn't trying.
It's okay. I don't judge you.
Thanks.
Washington Post bombshell: the Save America Act, proof of citizenship plus voter ID, could flip key states red. Nevada R+1. R plus 6.3, much safer. New Mexico would go from a D plus 4 to an R plus 3.3.
Boom.
So,
yeah, we'll take that.
So the Save America Act could swing key states.
Tucker would say
to the right. So my question is, why would Republicans not be for ending the filibuster and doing this and getting this done? And it's because they're not on our side. The ones that are the holdouts are truly not on our side. And because it makes no sense. The SAVE Act is an 80% issue, 80-20 issue I think at worst. And they are saying, no, we're not going to. How does this happen? You tell me how any political party could survive with an 80-20 issue. You have control of it. Your base wants it. This isn't some 80-20. I mean, this is a key plank of election integrity, and it'll be for the good of the people that sent you there. And according to reports like this, it means that it makes winning easier on your own party. That you actually can get access to the White House easier because now New Mexico goes from a blue state to a red state if you have voter ID because there's so many illegals that are voting in New Mexico. And yet they're going to say, no, we're not going to do it. So what's your only conclusion is they don't really care about the party. They don't care about what we want. They're working for the other side. These holdouts on the filibuster are working for the other team. And that's what I think. I'm that's where I'm at with it. I'm so sick of it. I'm sick of it. This is we're making our own. We're making our own beds. We talk about Memphis making their own bed. We're making our own bed, and the people are going to suffer. It's the people that suffer. They should be, as I said at the top of the show, they should be terrified. I want politicians who are terrified that we may have to live under Democrat rule again and pay the anti-Christian consequence, because that's what it's going to be. I talked the other day about the NSA, and we were talking about Edward Snowden and just he may be pardoned. There's talk that maybe he's going to get pardoned, which would be a great thing, I think. It would make all the right people furious. It would be hilarious. But we were just talking about how if you go listen to all the metadata that they've collected and everything else, and we're about to talk about data centers here in just a second, and just how they've collected everything about us. And like right now, if you had the right computer screen and the right intelligence office, you could right now be like, show me all the Christians in America right now in real time. Where are they? On a map. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Show me the ones that go to church every Sunday. Boop, 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 boop. You could do that right now. And I just thought to myself, like, I mean, I don't think people realize. You can do that with any group. I'm obviously more concerned with the one that, historically speaking, totalitarian governments go after, which is Christians. And
it's like Cerebro from
X-Men. Yes.
It's like Professor X wheeling into Cerebro and just like tapping into all the mutants and all these different places. Dude.
You could do it right now. The ones who go every Sunday, they're going to be considered your fundamentalists. They're going to be considered the ones that are the true believers. They go every Sunday. They're going to be the ones. Show me which Christians went to their churches during COVID, during the closure. Show me which Christians went to churches, after 2 weeks. Some churches stayed closed.
Yeah.
Some churches opened after 2 weeks. They said, we can't do this. We're going to open. Show me those Christians.
Sheesh.
My point is, we have the technology to enslave ourselves. It's already there. The Democrats get into power. I know what they want.
Well, look at the report you did about the car, the new trucks, and the patents that are being applied for that technology, like in your own vehicle that you're driving. It's making real-time decisions against your will.
Yep, we got to run down a tornado. There was that one video that somebody made.
Sorry, Eric, your heart rate's too high. You don't need to be driving right now.
But I'm trying to get away.
I'm trying to save my own life and my children who are in the back seat.
Yep.
Nope, just ride it out.
So I want politicians that are aware of that future.
I don't think that'll ever pass, by the way.
I
know they're applying for all the patents.
Well, the patents, but the fact the one that has passed is that the government will be able to shut your car off. All cars in 2027 must be allowed to have the technology where the government can just shut your car off for whatever reason. The Republicans voted with the Democrats on that.
And is the argument there that like if it's stolen, they can just shut it down? Like what's the real world argument? How are they going to rationalize that? Well, Eric, this is going to be really good for you because if you're in downtown Memphis and somebody jacks your car and is on their way down to the southern border to dump it, like we'll be able to shut it off on the way. Is that the argument?
Oh, it's got to be. That's got to be one of the arguments. And then the other argument is...
I can get on board with that.
Yeah, I know you could. I mean, right? Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, you can get on board with it. And then, 10 years from now, it's like, hey, I'm trying...
But wait.
Hey, I'm going to church today,
yeah.
And it's another fake pandemic.
Yes.
And I refuse to take my shot and the remdesivir. And so now my card doesn't work.
And you can't go to the grocery store.
I can't go to church.
Or church, yeah.
Because it's the next pandemic. I mean, come on. Let's think about this logically. if that technology was already in every single car, would they have used it in COVID? 100% they would have used it in Oregon and California. They might not have used it here.
Yeah, maybe not here.
100%
yeah.
it would have been used. 100%. We're going to shut cars off during the 15 days to slow the spread.
Huh.
I think. I don't see. We went crazy. We went absolutely crazy. We wanted to deny medical care for people that didn't take the shot if they went to the ER.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
we wanted to vaccinate children to protect the elderly.
Yeah. Would 100% been used. And we haven't learned any lessons from COVID. Zero. And it was the Republicans in the House that voted with the Democrats to put this procedure in 2027.
Wow.
That all this new standard. So I want these people to care about what our lives are going to be like during the next Democrat rule, which will be full-blown communist.
Yeah.
And I don't think they care.
I'm glad you're talking objectively about this stuff, because I don't hear it anywhere else. I really don't. So hats off to you for having stuff like this on the agenda to talk about, because I'm really serious. Like, besides a couple a few Twitter related clips and stuff that I've seen, like, this stuff isn't being more widely talked about like it should.
Well,
we have to start preparing for what's next.
Well, let me do a follow-up then on our story.
Instead of everything being about the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, well, I've made a conscious decision, as much as I'm not a fan of, I'm totally against the war in Iran and everything else, it just got so maddening. It's on again, it's off again, it's off again. I was like, you know what? I can't keep up anymore. It is what it is. Let's talk about something else.
So many problems that we're dealing with domestically.
But yesterday we told you about this story with 60 Minutes. Right after the Southern Poverty Law Center gets outed as false flagging the entire nation for decades. There's even references to the Southern Poverty Law Center inside Oklahoma City bomber documents that they had assets on the ground there. So that makes you really think, now that we know that they paid for Charlottesville, paid for a bad actor inside the Unite the Right rally. And so now that we know all of this, a week later, 60 Minutes comes out and says, hey, during Hurricane Helene, there was white people that showed up to try to help, and they were from white supremacist groups, and they believe that the government can control weather, and they believe that the government may have made the hurricane that destroyed western North Carolina and eastern Tennessee, and they're bad. This is literally the report that 60 Minutes did. Like, white people showing up and helping other people are white supremacists just because they believe that there may be technology out there that the government can make storms stronger or control the weather. By the way, it was great that Leslie Stahl called it a conspiracy theory, because we all know what that means.
Yeah.
We all know 6 to 8 months from now, there's already plenty of evidence out there that the government has this technology, by the way. The question is, can you convince people that they would use it against us? Yes. Yes, yes, 100%. They will. They have, and they'll do it again. And so we tried to set up. I did a bad job yesterday in this report, really setting up the context. I think I did. The context was Trump gets shot at Butler. The story was they didn't secure it from a sloped roof because the roof was sloped. That was the same story. That was always going to be the story, whether he was killed or whether he survived. Now, he was supposed to die that day, and he survived. If he would have died that day, they would have given us the same story, and it would have sent the country into a civil war. You didn't secure. Everybody would have assumed the Joe Biden government had President Trump killed that day if he had died, and the excuse we got was, well, we didn't secure the building because of a sloped roof, and then they cremated the body, and then they took the van away, and everybody would have assumed our own government killed the guy that was running for president. Like, we would have been a third world country officially, banana republic officially at that moment. It would have been terrible. There would have been no elections. This was what was planned. Probably the SPLC would have had people in the wings ready to go violent.
Yeah.
This is what was planned for us. All right. So then in September of 2024, this hurricane, and I'm going to say it, I'm no meteorologist, but to me it comes out of nowhere, and it just hooks around and then gets stronger and then just sits in North Carolina. In the aftermath, there were people thinking that, okay, this now makes North Carolina's going to be a blue state. North Carolina's going to vote for Kamala because there's all these people in the western parts of North Carolina that are not going to be able to vote in time in November. And it's now that didn't happen, but this is what people were thinking.
Yeah.
Then you had FEMA coming in. And FEMA was telling people they couldn't stay, they had to go.
Yeah.
FEMA is still slow walking the people that want to rebuild. There's a lithium conspiracy now that there's massive deposits of lithium, and that this is a very convenient storm that happened where people are potentially never going to be allowed to rebuild, very much like the fires in Hawaii and other places.
There's still people living in trailers. Man.
Yes.
Look how long the time it took them to rebuild roads. Like, what a mess.
It is a mess. And so that's why I wanted to do a follow-up, because there are people, I'm putting these conditions in. So when these guys came, some of them former military guys, people donating their own helicopters to go rescue people. You had local law enforcement, in some cases, working against these groups. And so Leslie Stahl comes in and says, isn't this is bad, right? They were undermining you, and they believe crazy conspiracy theories. And this sheriff goes along with it and is working for the enemy. Really should be ashamed of himself, whoever that guy is, because CBS is there with an agenda. But anyway, this guy named Matt Van Swall, in response to the 60 Minutes piece, essentially saying that white people helping other white people is bad, says, remember when 60 Minutes ran a story on Doge discovering that FEMA spent $59 million to house illegal aliens in luxury hotels in New York City, while FEMA nearly kicked out 3,000 Americans from their hotel rooms in the dead of winter after Hurricane Helene? Oh, wait, they never did a story on that. This was what was also going on.
Yeah.
The Biden government didn't care about the folks in East Tennessee and Western North Carolina because they're white and because they vote for Trump.
Yeah.
That was the story.
Those people were in tents,
yes,
man, in freezing temperatures out there. Tents. It's the receipts are there. And yet the Roosevelt Hotel in Manhattan is full to the brim with illegals on taxpayer dime getting stipends for their daily allotment of food and necessities. What a joke.
To the point where the Amish came in, and there were stories about them being hindered as well. Matt Van Swall says this photo was taken 2 weeks ago. The Amish, yes. The Amish, who, yes, are white, are still in Western North Carolina rebuilding after Helene. Hundreds of bridges, hundreds of homes, by hand, for free, with no cameras, zero mainstream media coverage. God bless the Amish. Look at them there. Don't they seem happy? Those people, they seem like they are having a childhood similar to the childhood that you and I had, although we weren't building bridges, but it seems like normal. But they're letting themselves be, getting a photo taken, so that's good. So the Amish are still doing this out there, and that brings me to, well, should I go there now? Yeah, we're going to go there now.
It's strong Hezekiah's right there.
Oh man.
See, I can't see Amish stuff without thinking of Kingpin, the movie, and Randy Quaid's character in that movie. Hezekiah Munson.
We're all going to be looked at.
Not Munson.
The way we feel about the Amish, this is how we're going to be looked at in the very near future. Sorry, I just hit a button. In the very near future, as more and more people want to begin to reject the horrors of AI, and I know it's a useful tool in some cases now, but I mean it's just going to, we're going to be the people that stand up. There's the rise of the neo-Amish. It's happening. It's happening with young people. You know that young people are getting rid of these and just getting flip phones? It's like a trend now. It's like coming. It makes me want to do it. I'm considering, getting rid of this. I mean, I can't imagine, it's hard for me to imagine not having constant contact and everything else, but just a flip phone. I don't know. Yeah. I'm thinking about doing it because I'm sick of it too. But so let's talk about this. Let's talk about the data centers. This is a good segue. So yesterday in yesterday in Utah, Kevin O'Leary's massive data center was approved by a county commission. 40,000 acres, 2.5 times the size of Manhattan. Here was one scene.
False. All of this is false. Then why won't they let people talk? Why won't they let us ask questions? It's false. This is not real information. And we sit here like it's okay. It's a charade. It's a charade. It's false.
So that was in Utah. Again, 40,000 acre data center. And you know, a lot of people can't even really figure out what these data centers are going to be used for. Yeah, storing our data. But fundamentally, we don't truly understand the scope because we're not tech people. But it is an AI arms race. Okay? It is an AI arms race. And this is happening. And I'm against it. I think there's a future where people get so fed up that this is where you light the torches and go like you used to in the olden days. You know, you would have these ideas of like, oh, when the people have had it, they're going after the bankers. You know, they're storming in there, here or there.
Yeah.
When people are fed up in our near future, it could be, you know, go get the data center or destroy the data center. But it's going to make our lives, quote, better. You know, and there's going to be some. Oh, well, these are thanks to the data centers that our lives are better, and that AI is such this powerful tool that we now have. But it's also going to surveil. It's going to totally shred the Fourth Amendment. I had the thought today of it's like, do you even could the data centers become so invasive and know so much about us with the AI and everything that's going to power and store? Like, yeah, you still have your Second Amendment, but it's meaningless. Like we know so much about you, there's literally no way that you could ever resist a tyrannical government with. Like, we're going to make the fact that you have a gun obsolete. There's literally nothing you can do with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had that thought. I'm just trying to think outside the box. And then, so here is more from that meeting. Again, the largest data center in the world was just approved in Utah. The county commission voted for the data center despite massive resistance from residents, and one commissioner mocked residents for hell's sake, grow up. The people responded by chanting, "People over profits."
For hell's sakes, grow up.
Look at the size of that building. Do you see how many people are in there?
Did he say for hell's sakes,
Yes.
grow up?
Yes.
I've never heard that.
I've never heard
somebody say that before.
Is that a Utah thing? Folks in Utah, is that a thing y'all say?
I've heard for heaven's
I
sakes.
said for heaven's sakes.
Why would you say for hell's
For
sakes?
hell's sake, grow up.
Did he really say that?
He said for hell's sake. I've never heard
Okay.
that in the world. I tell you what he wanted to say.
Yeah, it's right. It's right there in the quotes. For hell's sake.
Yeah, I think he wanted to say for F's sake. I have heard that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But then he's like,
But why would you switch heaven to hell?
well,
For the sake of
well,
hell?
well,
what?
well, I know.
No.
I know. We'll let the chat analyze those data points.
Can you be quiet and let our citizens hear what needs to be said, please?
Jeez.
Anyway, they go ahead and they go through it anyway. So this data center in Utah, is Kevin O'Leary's data center. Kevin O'Leary, the guy from the Shark Tank. Okay.
Yeah.
Kevin O'Leary posts this. Actually, he posts a video after this data center gets approved.
How are you offsetting these environmental concerns?
Well, I'm actually the only developer of data centers on Earth that graduated from environmental studies. So I'm pretty aware of what these concerns are. They are around air, water use, heat, noise, pollution. So sustainability is at the heart of what we do in terms of all these proposals. We're not just Utah. We have 10,000 acres in Alberta, Canada, with the same concerns. And so we search for the best technology. There's many air-cooled turbines now. So you're blending in air-cooled versus water. There's so many different ways to generate power.
So the problem is this: he's got community noted here. You see this community note. The Utah data center project is planned to be powered 100% by natural gas, not a blend including solar, wind, and batteries as stated. Well, that's a burn. So that's Kevin O'Leary. All right, so
I usually like him, by the way.
So here's the deal. Let me throw this up. I'm going to go full screen with me and look at some of my notes here. All right, so here's the deal on this. You got old money and you got new money. You got old money Wall Street, you got Silicon Valley new money. Silicon Valley backed President Trump. Now, that came with strings. There's no doubt, there's no way around it. It comes with strings. Now, we can talk about the national security implications. We can talk about how, hey, China's in an AI arms race. Russia's in an AI arms race. I get it. Like, I'm not discounting that at all. Some of this may be for national security purposes and everything else. That's an argument that's out there. But I can promise you this, the end result is going to be, if we don't do something, the end result is slavery for us. The end result is, they're going to pacify us. And that's a real danger here, honestly. Pacify us with universal basic income or whatever. I mean, what we're about to go through is going to make the Industrial Revolution look like a cakewalk. It's going to make it look like nothing. We're a lot closer than you think with robot technology. They've said everybody go into the trades. The trades is how you hack the system, and that's true. You go into the trades, be a plumber, electrician, you can hack the system. And it'll be the lawyers that'll go first. It'll be the desk workers that'll go first when it comes to AI. I think we're way closer to robots being your plumber than you think. A robot showing up to your house, your personal robot. I mean, what if everybody got a personal robot? Then you don't need to.
As a handyman?
I'm literally, as anything, as a helper. This is what Elon Musk wants to do.
This is the Jetsons. We'll all be the Jetsons.
Instead of having a room, think about it. You already have, most people have a Roomba. I don't, but most people have a Roomba, a robot vacuum. What if the thing was just, 6 foot tall and did all that for you and also knew how to fix your sink, knew how to do all that? So all of a sudden, your trade guy that's making $120,000 a year, you don't need him anymore. And it can happen. It can happen like that. That's where we are. That's how close.
So let me ask: are you totally against that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I am. I think I am. Now I think there's
why? Because your heart goes out to the plumber who built his business up and.
My heart goes out to that's one reason, but I mean it's down on the list. I want human beings to live the way we've lived for thousands of years. I want us to be able to interact with one another. I want us to be able to connect with one another. I think a plumber with a soul is better than a machine.
But you and I don't live the way the settlers did 100 years.
Correct.
You and I don't live the way our fathers did in the 80s.
Correct.
So, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, why do you feel like it's best for you to pump the brakes on innovation like that? And I'm trying to ask objectively.
No, I agree.
Not
I get
because
it.
I disagree with you.
I think because there's not going to be any jobs, you're going to have universal basic income. There's no argument against universal basic income. And if you ask me right now, like this is like you're going.
Yeah.
Elon Musk says universal basic income is coming, and it's going to be high, and we're going to eliminate poverty and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But I actually right now the way I see, I don't think there's any way to stop this.
Yeah, that's my whole point. I'm getting.
I'm telling you,
the train has left the station.
It has.
Yeah.
But I'm against it, and I'll tell you why. I don't know what is in the Lord's plan with all this, but I'm against it because, let me just say this: in either situation, Christians are going to thrive. Specifically, the preeminence of your local church is going to thrive regardless of which way we go, because that's what the church does. And in a situation where nobody has their identity anymore, and being a lawyer or a plumber, we know as Christians our identity isn't those things. Those are just a means to an end. Our identity is found in Christ, right? And we know that the chief end of man is to worship the Lord, glorify the Lord, enjoy Him forever. So there'll be a great opportunity there. There'll actually be people realizing the importance of interacting with people who have souls and not this soulless technology, because there's going to be nothing there for them. It's not going to fill this void. So that's kind of another positive side that I've thought about when it comes to the AI takeover and everything else, is how
Okay.
the church will continue to survive through all that, and actually, I think, thrive in a new way. But it will be a neo-Amish. There will be this rise of neo-Amish of people that say, I am so hungry for interaction with somebody I know has a soul and not a machine. Like, there's going to be a spark there, and there's going to be a resistance there to get rid of it. And so, that's kind of my feeling on it. It'll be super convenient. It'll be super. Oh, you haven't gotten your robot yet?
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be like. I don't know if I answered your question at all. But I was gonna.
I don't even know if I'll be here for that.
Oh, you will.
Once it
You
gets
will.
that far. I mean, how quickly are we talking
I
about
think
here?
we're really quick. 20 years,
Yeah. I mean,
maybe sooner.
okay.
At least that's what I think. I mean, I could be wrong. It could be a long time out. But I just think it's. I mean, they're building these. It's a 40,000 square foot data center. I've talked to guys that have built factories, logistic guys that have built factories that store and load goods, and it's all robots. They built the specs out. It's all robots. The trucks pull in. The robots load the trucks. They go out. If one of the machines in there breaks, a robot goes in, fixes it, comes back. It's devastating towards a man who is called to go and till the earth, and by the sweat of your brow, you're going to provide. You're going to subdue the earth and conquer. They're building these societies where there's no room for that anymore. And the World Economic Forum says, well, what are we going to do with these people? So there's got to be a movement against this. There has to be.
If you're on the other side of the perspective, though, of this, and you've waited for hours and hours for that person to show up for that service call, if you've waited weeks and weeks for that subcontractor to come do this job and that job, if you've been at the mercy of someone repairing or been at the unfortunate other end of somebody that was repairing a vehicle for you that took advantage of you, and it's like on and on and on and on. You and I are unreliable. If we just get down to it, we're hardworking, we think, we're objective, and we're good people. But as far as a lot of those types of things that you were talking about what robots can do, it's like they're fixing the unreliability aspect or the mistakes of the human element.
Mm-hmm. And now's where we need a Captain James T. Kirk monologue of,
yes,
but the mistakes are what make us human. Eric,
right.
They're what makes us human.
Yeah, you're right. I'm with you. I'm just thinking this thing out.
I know, man. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. But I'm telling you, there will be a rise of what I'm calling the neo-Amish on this, and they will be people that want the current level of technology we have, but they don't want it to go any further. I don't know how this all works out. I don't exactly know, but
hey, I'm already for us going back to the 80s and 90s. I've said that before.
Mm-hmm.
I already think we've gone too far.
Yep.
I'm completely annoyed at the fact that we can't have things in a more simple way like we had back then.
But here, real quick,
movies would be better, music would be better, social interactions would be better, food would be better. Come on. I need a legal pad
I don't know.
to start writing.
Can you survive without high quality Indian cuisine in your community?
Well, I can survive without all the glyphosates and all of the high fructose corn syrup.
Me too. I'll trade it.
Give me Back to the Future, Karate Kid, Rambo movies,
That's
and
right.
Some old school Doritos and Cheetos.
Mm-hmm. Cheese
and a
Cheez-Its
Lazy
or
Boy
cheese
rocker
nips.
recliner and shag carpet, and I'll be just fine.
I agree.
And some Journey to wash it down.
Okay, Journey.
Def Leppard. Sorry.
I will say real quick, tying a bow around the.
But I digress.
Tying a bow around the data center thing.
Yeah.
Where does this come from? Okay. Kevin O'Leary is an independent guy doing his own big data center thing, right? Okay. Then you have Project Stargate. Okay, so as I was saying earlier, you've got the old money Wall Street, the new money Silicon Valley, and January 2025, Trump gets in there. What does Trump do? He announces and backs Project Stargate. okay? It's a $500 billion private sector AI infrastructure project. It's backed by OpenAI, Oracle, SoftBank, MGX. It's designed to build a nationwide network of advanced data centers. So Kevin O'Leary, this Utah data center, 46,000 acres, is separate from that. It's a parallel track, but it's not Project Stargate, but it's the same thing. It's technically, on paper different, but I just wanted you guys to know this is what we're experiencing. Project Stargate, 20 massive. They were trying to build up to 20 massive AI data centers in the U.S. High-end chips, massive cooling system, huge electricity demand, 5 to 10 gigawatts of power usage, which is an enormous amount. It's more electricity than San Francisco. Okay, so the idea being is why are they here? Well, it's because the cloud. This is a lot about it. Is cloud storage. This at least what they're saying is the giant warehouses. AI has got to have some place to eventually be stored. The cloud is actually somewhere. And it's in these data centers. And this, by the way, gives them total control, especially, like right now there's even people that have caught, guess what? When you go to stream on Netflix, like that's in some data center somewhere. So, they've bought storage there somewhere.
Yeah.
And they've now edited old school sitcoms. You go and watch an old school sitcom, people have noticed that they've been edited. They're not the original. So they'll be able to edit things in real time. If it becomes politically inconvenient or politically incorrect, there's already people that claim, I don't know if this is true, but they claim that they have put chemtrails in older movies to make people think that the skies always look like this.
What?
Yes, you can look that up. I'm just letting you guys know that,
I just thought you were going to say that they're switching up all the Jeffersons. They're going to take out all the bad stuff from the Jeffersons.
That would be a tragedy, but... Yeah, go get your copy of Blazing Saddles today.
Are the Blazing Saddles going to be unavailable?
I own a physical copy of Blazing
Hey,
Saddles.
where are the white women at?
Yep. Yeah.
Like they're just going to cut that part out so they peek around the corner and nothing happens. And Gene Wilder's just standing there.
Go get your... Yeah, if you don't own a physical hard copy...
The sheriff is near. Okay, he's coming.
Somebody's got to go get it. Load of dimes.
Yeah.
I think that's my... Honestly, I know there's a lot of really great racial jokes in that, but my favorite part of Blazing Saddles is the S-load of dimes. For whatever reason, I've just always thought that is so funny when they get to the toll road. And then the Broadway gay scene with the gay director at the end, where they're... what is that song called? Is it called... I don't even know what it's called, but... the way they play that director.
Stick out your tush.
Yes. And he's like, no. You're doing it wrong. Like that is the best. So the last...
Throw up your hand.
All right.
Stick out your tush.
I'm gonna get to this. I'm getting to the end of this.
All right, I'm sorry.
And the end of this is Vigilant Fox's Maria Z. So we've told you what these AI data centers are in terms of what the official narrative is they are. Project Stargate, Kevin O'Leary, or whatever. This is what they are. We're told we're in an AI arms race, which is going to put this report into more context. Maria Z over at Vigilant Fox has this report about AI data centers.
In the midst of what we're being told is the greatest energy crisis in modern history being caused by the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, you would think there would be a moratorium on data centers worldwide, but there isn't. They're spreading like an aggressive cancer, and the consequences are proving to be deadly. You may have heard about Project Matador, a data center being planned for the Texas Panhandle, which is set to not only be the largest in the country, but in the world. It is planned for up to 18 million square feet, approximately 6,000 acres, and will reportedly use up to 90...
So keep it that. The one in Texas, 6,000 acres. The one that passed in Utah, 46,000 acres.
Wow. 6 billion kilowatts of electricity per year. Some people are speculating that it would use far more than that, maybe double or triple that number, but let's go with the conservative number, 96 billion kilowatts. Currently, all of Texas homes combined are using approximately 172 billion kilowatts annually. That means Project Matador is set to consume roughly 55 to 65% of all Texas residential electricity use. And that is just one of the hundreds either in operation, construction, or planning stages. To give you the figures, there are 87 in operation in Texas that we could find, approximately 135 under construction, and a pipeline of over 600 data centers planned in Texas alone. We continue to hear reports of how these data centers are absolutely destroying communities, and it's happening all over the country and the world. A small town in Louisiana is in chaos because of Meta. Take a listen to this report.
Meta's new $27 billion AI data center is causing chaos in a small town in Louisiana. In February, I flew down to Louisiana, to Richland Parish, a rural county where Meta is building a mega AI data center. Just to put it in perspective for you, this AI data center is 4 million square feet, 2,250 acres. That's roughly 70 football fields. When I was in Richland Parish, I spoke to over a dozen residents and really got to hear their concerns. People are talking about how their rents are going up because there are thousands of workers coming from out of state, staying in these massive RV parks. I also spoke to local businesses that are suffering. While there are definitely businesses that are making money hand over fist, you're also finding small businesses that are struggling because they can't get in with the right people or get the right catering jobs for the Meta workers on site, for example.
So I'm not trying to just steal her entire report, but she goes on to talk about how governments are now classifying massive AI data centers as military operations. This is what I was trying to end with. Military operations quietly stripping communities of any power to stop them.
Yeah.
So if you do have this backlash like you do in the state of Utah with all these people saying don't do this, and the council does it anyway, once you start classifying this as military, all bets are off. It's now national security, and the community has to take it. It's like eminent domain on steroids.
Yeah.
Once the military's involved.
Yeah.
And so these data centers, if you really think about it, I know it's not been overnight. I know they've kind of been slow, but it's now kind of like an overnight phenomenon. It's like they just showed up. And we're getting them in our neck of the woods. Other people are getting them. The state of Arkansas just gave. Did you hear about this?
Yes.
State of Arkansas just passed a bill to give $300 million to some mystery project in West Memphis, Arkansas. These legislators voted on it without knowing what it was. Now, maybe a few of them do, but apparently there's some sort of non-disclosure agreement. They made the state pledge this money. We don't even know what it is. Yeah. We have no idea what super project is coming to the state of Arkansas, and the state legislature just said, we're going to give you $300 million if you do, but we don't know what it is. It's literally Nancy Pelosi's famous line, we have to pass the bill so we can find out what's in it.
Yeah.
And I suspect, because I know, isn't there already a data center going in West Memphis?
I didn't know if it was West Memphis.
Or there's some sort of Google. Isn't there some sort of Google data center or something? Yeah.
This is part of Trump's agenda, though, by the way. Like, he
I
wants
know.
to beat China. He literally said that today.
I know.
In a conference where they were asking questions, and he's like, I'm so excited to go over and tell President Xi, like, I'm winning, we're winning. Like, I heard that today.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
so
it's baked into the cake.
It's like, it's happening again.
Yeah.
It's like, the train has left the station. Hats off to the people in, Eastern Missouri that voted out all the city council and that won it. But it's like that feels like kind of a one-off, right? Because most of these other places, like they're buying private land and doing this in private land.
Yeah, I know.
And who's not going to take that? And who's not going to take that check?
Did you just?
That's a generational thing that covers your family forever.
Did you just mention the Tennessee lady that turned them down? Is that what you just did, or did I mishear you?
No, this was in Missouri.
Okay. Well, so there's they voted it down.
Festus, Missouri.
There was a Tennessee grandmother that was offered, I don't know, millions and millions of dollars for a data center to buy their land, and she said, "No, I'm not letting you do that. This is my land. You're not building a data center here." It was like very, what's that show? The Prairie. what's it? Laura Ingalls.
Little House on the Prairie.
It was very Little House on the Prairie. We may get to those moments, like, yeah, sure, this is your land, but what was on it is ours. And like, blow everything up.
Yeah.
Sorry, we are in the midst of a technological revolution, and people don't have a clue what is coming.
Yeah.
How quick it's going to turn on a dime.
What is it they say though, that now that like every year technology advances faster in 1 year than the previous 10?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like there's like this exponential growth of it to where now like I don't worry about predicting pretty far out and what I'm going to have, because who knows if these will be completely obsolete, that we'll be using these things. Like I just don't know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, here's the question, Paul: why fight it?
Oh, I don't know. That's a great question. I mean,
because what are you fighting? Do you even know?
I'm fighting.
Besides the comments about like what data centers do to water and
Yeah.
gardens and plants.
We're fighting
like,
that.
Like, I get that.
We're fighting the planners. We're fighting the planners.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
are fighting.
This is way bigger.
We are fighting. This is going to lead to communism.
Yeah.
The solution to our problems is going to. I mean, we're fighting people that think they can plan our lives better than we can live them ourselves.
Yes.
Fundamentally, that's what we're fighting. It's as simple as that.
That's my point.
And it's communism on steroids. In terms of, in the past, without the technology, the communism that would just guarantee you certain services, and now they think they have the technology to basically guarantee us all a life of luxury, and they're building the Tower of Babel 2.0.
Yeah,
is what they're promising here.
Well, getting to this point, will this do something to where it'll pay off our debt? Pay off our debt, by the way. Because
our individual debt or our national debt?
National debt. I'm still under the mentality that like we can't really do what we want to as a society and as a country, because we owe what, 30 to 40 trillion dollars.
Yeah.
So is this part of the answer to our debt problem? And I don't know.
I don't know either, man.
Sorry, I'm way in the weeds.
No, I don't know either. Hey, we're going to try to keep it light towards the last 10 minutes. I've been waiting for somebody to go over this story with me. All right. So here's the deal. You guys have heard this.
The red flags on this one from the beginning.
All right. So here's this blonde lady here, and she's this guy's boss, we're told. Okay.
This is the J.P. Morgan.
Yeah, she's the J.P. Morgan lady.
Lady, right?
And with
the cannons.
Yes.
Okay.
Alleged cannons. And so we were told.
Bless her heart.
The New York Post reported that she, according to this guy on the left, that she made this guy basically a sex slave.
Right.
Okay. And everybody was reading this and like, oh my gosh, this is so scandalous. My goodness, can you believe this? This is terrible. And they were looking at her and they were saying, can you believe she did this? And then this guy's face it was discovered who the lawsuit or the complaint, who actually wrote it. And it came back that it was this Indian guy. And immediately the internet was like, okay, this guy's a liar. He made it up. There's no way. So first off, on that scale, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it was hilarious that immediately the internet was like, man, can you believe what a terrible person she is? And then they found out what the guy looked like, and they're like, oh, no, he made it up. Like, he had to have made it up. But it's not over. It's not over because it's
like when they sniffed out Juicy Smouye.
Yes. It's
like some things
very much.
Some things when you see it play out, you're just like,
yeah.
Not
Subway.
Yeah.
Sandwiches? So breaking, so this guy whose name Chirayu Rana, he's refiled his sex slave lawsuit, this time with witness statements. And I'm not going to get into it all. This is allegedly now a witness says that a witness now claims, this sounds like such an Indian scam. A witness now claims that they heard her claim, quote, I own you, Brownie. I own you, Brownie. And there was proposition for, lewd sexual behavior. And so Raw Egg Nationalist says this guy's basically trapped in a doom loop where he has to lie even more extravagantly to cover up the previous set of extravagant lies. all of this just reads like a bad porn-inflected fantasy an Indian man would conjure up. Quote, I own you, Brownie. We also had this story where it was now discovered that this ex-JP Morgan banker, again, Chirayu Rana, pretended his dad was dead to get bereavement leave, but he's actually alive, and spoke to the Post this weekend. There's his dad still alive, and so you really get stereotypes, folks, exist because people out there reinforce them every single day. And this whole thing, when I first read it, before I ever saw the guy, I saw the story, I intentionally didn't put it on the show because I thought it was fake. I intentionally waited a little while because I was like, first of all, we don't really cover tabloid news like this on the show, but I did read about it, and I was like, man, I can't believe this, But I mean, if it is made up and if it isn't true, this guy called his own wife a quote fish head, and I mean, just terrible. Oh man, it's insane. It's insane. So anyway,
there's just all these red flags that have been going off since the very beginning about this. It's just like,
well, I mean, the whole H-1B thing is a scam, and so
she's either really crazy or this is
I mean, what's she going to do? I mean, if it is made up, she's got to go after this guy and sue him for everything he's got. I mean, he's now he was in leveraged finance. Now he's in some other form of finance. I mean, he went to a competitor. He was able to get a job at another place.
Yeah.
And he left apparently voluntarily, according to some, I don't know. The whole thing is like, wow. I mean, again, if it's true that he made all this up, the stereotypes are real. I mean, we already know they're real, but it's just crazy.
Well, she's going to really own him.
Yeah.
If he did make that up.
That's actually really funny. Yeah, she will. She absolutely will. TheHill.com reporting 81% of young Americans say economic conditions are bad or terrible. There's a point to this story. I want to come down here to corporate greed real quick. According to this new poll, more than 4 in 10 of respondents in the 18 to 24 range blamed the president, while 1/3 faulted corporate greed in large companies. Just 2% blamed former President Biden, 9% blamed congressional Republicans, 2% blamed congressional Democrats, and 1% blamed the Federal Reserve. Yeah. Wow, we got to get the word out on the Fed. By the way,
I went and spoke to a group of our college business students who are going to be graduating and stuff like that, and I'll tell you, man, like. That sentiment right there, it's real. Those kids are freaking out right now. They're about to graduate, and they do not feel like they have a bright future in front of them in the market, in the job market. And they're about to feel the squeeze, too, of bills and high costs and stuff that affect us every day. And they're a little freaked out about it. For sure,
it's going to be bad, and again, the AI doesn't make things any better. And
that degree, they're about to walk across the stage and get handed, like they don't feel like it has that much value.
Yeah, I know. And they're
glad for the education. They kind of feel like they're ready to get out, but they just don't. It just feels so devalued to them that a lot of them feel like, well, I'm sure I'll be at Starbucks, or I'm sure I'll be at Ruby Tuesdays for the first couple of years.
Now, I mean that's why college is
working in bars
is going away.
Working in college restaurants.
10 years from now, college. I don't think college is what it is because of the AI. People are not going to school. They're not going to do it. They're not going to waste the money. They're going to say it's a waste of money when they can either get AI to do it or they can get AI to teach them the minutia of things.
Yeah.
And AI is wrong sometimes and everything else, but this is, again, we have no idea what's coming our way. It's coming, and it's coming quick.
Yeah.
I found this right before I went on the air today, and I knew I wanted to have it on the show. This is the point of view of what life has been like if you are a millennial. If you are a millennial, this was your life. This kind of goes hand in glove with what you're saying. I know these aren't millennials anymore. These are now Zoomers, right? That you're talking about. But it's kind of the same. There's a parallel here. And this encapsulates what a lot of people think. Listen, let me see if I can restart it. Listen to this.
Childhood was great. I'm excited for a bright future.
9/11.
What? Yeah, it's 9/11. It's going to be the worst terrorist attack in human history, and the world's never going to be the same.
All right, well, I'm sure by the time I get to college, things will...
Financial crisis. There's going to be one of the worst financial crises ever.
All right, well, whatever. I'm sure by the time I'm 30...
Global pandemic. There's going to be a global pandemic that irreparably shifts how society operates. Forever.
This is becoming too much for me. All right, well, I was always shown that the key to happiness is just raising a family and owning a home. So I'm just going to focus on that because I'm finally making $100,000 a year.
$250,000.
Huh?
Yeah, you're going to need $250,000 a year for all those things now.
Are you kidding me? Gee, I mean, I guess I'll just go back to medical school then.
$300,000, that's going to cost $300,000 and also 10 years of your life.
Oh, my... Whatever. I'll just pursue my passions and become an artist.
They're going to try to replace you with AI.
Good God. I can't deal with this anymore. I'm just going to revert back to my childhood and watch some of my favorite shows. Try to forget about this.
Child abuse.
What?
Yeah, child abuse. They were all abusing children.
Ugh. I need to go back to church.
Also abusing children.
I can't do this anymore. Is the government at least like trying to fix this? Abusing children?
Abusing children, yeah.
Wow, childhood was...
So you're telling me we have a chance.
There's a reason The Anxious Generation, that book, has sold way more, over 2 million copies. Because this is the kind of stuff that, you know, we as parents, I'm going to hopefully end on a positive note with this, but like, it's up to us as parents to raise a better generation of kids that are happy. And getting to your point about, you know, just getting out and doing things, and whether you're homeschooling them or you're spending lots of extra time in the outdoors, like that's the things that are going to make a really big difference. Because one of the things that I noted most about that video right there is that kid is sitting there playing on a stupid video game.
Yep.
The whole time.
And
not engaging, not getting outside, not doing anything productive.
And I give credit to, again, Syntax Animation over on Instagram is where that video came from. I thought it was really good. I especially hit home about the, I'll just get back in touch with my childhood and watch some of these old shows. They're like, yeah, abusing kids. Wait, what? You go look into it. All those shows on Nickelodeon we grew up with, those kids were being abused.
They were bad. Yep.
They were being abused. We now know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, it's just crazy when you go think about what we've been through, and, you know, the truth has come out about child sex trafficking and everything else. It's absolutely
Mickey Mouse
disgusting.
Club, kids and all
yeah.
that
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Totally like programmed mind control. Folks, that's all the time that we have for this edition of the show. We really appreciate you being with us. I want to remind everybody to go get your red light panels over at Red Vive Health. That's redvivehealth.org. redvivehealth.org/Paul. Save 35%. You're going to restore the collagen in your skin with the red light. And then the other wave is the near-infrared light, which will allow you to, it's going to penetrate deeper into your bones, your tissues, your organs, stimulates the mitochondria of your cells, called biophotomodulation. Check it out now. And with the promo code Paul, you save 35%. You keep this show on the air, and you also improve your life, and you get off the medical industrial complex hamster wheel. Want to give a shout out to the rest of our sponsors: New Horizon Real Estate, Gateway Sight and Sound, 7 Weeks Coffee, Pet Club 24/7, and Sherrod Chiropractic. We will see you tomorrow. God bless.
The Paul Harrell Program.